And buenos dias, GnGs. My name is Trekkw2ks, and yeah, it's been a week. I missed a week, y'all. If you don't know, this is Weekend Crypto, and basically what happens here is I cover the crypto news that happens between the Friday to Sunday. Basically, while you out living life and you doing other things, this crypto thing keep happening and stories keep popping up. Ironically enough, the stuff that I seen popping up this week, like something's going on because it looked really dead, and there was a number of just like price talk related things, not the usual like maybe 30 to 40 stories I might see and then have to sift through. Also, other thing to note why I missed out on last week, for those of you who've been around for a minute, I'm still playing in the whole nasty girl life, aka National Guard life. And the new BC wanted to do a Norwegian ruck, which is 18 miles. For those of us who did not do the 18 miles, at this point, I don't really care about awards like that. You had 12 miles to do. And if you know anything about infantry, yeah, we do rucking. I'm not a bang bang. I'm a 25U, but still, we don't be jumping out doing no double digit numbers like that. So your boy was done at the end of Sunday. So that's why I missed out on the Monday weekend crypto. But nonetheless, I do want to say before getting into these stories, thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you to the folks who are still looking to understand what's going on in this space and not letting the FUD or the FOMO either scare them off or have them jump into some ridiculous things. Because trust and believe me, there are some more things on the horizon. Oh, there's some things on the horizon. As we've been saying for how long on this whole Gentleman of Crypto Network, okay, holiday, like after it is when the craziness starts dropping as far as news and regulations and stuff like that here in the US. So Monday is going to be like a day, but then like after that Monday, who knows what's going to drop for the rest of this month. Anywho, I just want to say thank y'all for still tuning in. Thank y'all who the folks who talk to me in the live chats when I'm in on the live streams in the morning. I appreciate all y'all too. Reno Gamble, Satoshi Slim. Damn, it's a couple other people that I cannot remember at the moment right now, but I appreciate y'all. All right, so let's jump into this stuff right here. I don't really got too much, but I'm gonna have some thoughts on these things. I'm just saying I got some thoughts. First one jumping into one of the largest US colleges has begun teaching students about. I'm gonna say something because of an experience that I had at the Black Blockchain Summit at Howard University this past year, and it relates to this. So, classroom adoption of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency courses online continue to skyrocket, with Texas A&M now being the latest United States college to offer a big course to some students of its 74,000 plus students. All right, excuse me. The news announced on January 13th by Associate Professor Karok Ray of Mays Business School at Texas A&M will be teaching Bitcoin protocol course to students in the College of Engineering and Mays Business School when spring semester starts. Here's the thing to you know what, let me say, the thing that got me about this is one, what the universities are now doing is they're looking to do the academia process. And arguably, I'm gonna get up close on this one, you don't need to do a 4-year degree, let alone a 2-year degree, and taking on debt to be able to understand crypto, understand Bitcoin, learn how to program, develop shit on your own. No, you can do all of that for free online right now. But how would that work for the business model of academia? I'm just saying. So pushing on with this story. And a lack of high quality crypto education has been dubbed as a key roadblock in taking adoption to the next level. Really? Because Andreas Antonopoulos, Zayn King, I'm gonna even say I'm gonna put Crypto Blood on the level of Zayn King, but like we all went through the process of learning some stuff from Andreas, right? Because he was out on the road grinding and providing people resources and education stuff long before the academia world was even trying to mess with this. So to say that there wasn't quality stuff out there, I don't know when this person who wrote the article got in, but that's a slap in the face for the folks who've been in here for more than, and I'm not even counting the 2017 people. Y'all cool, but I'm counting the people who was like 2015 or like 2016 and before, 2016 and before. How about that? So we not at the like the hype of 2017 and the ICO craze. I'm talking about the people who was here before the money was ringing out. Just saying. The bottom line is, yeah, this is what Zane King would call a base hit, but like at the end of the day, you could do all of this without taking on a debt. And you'll do it because literally it'll be the 6 months to a year to learn the code. Because he's talking about teaching people how to build a Bitcoin ledger and everything from scratch, which arguably means you might have to learn C plus, but you could do, I'm not even going to get into the technical loss part, go down that rabbit hole part of it. But my point being it is you can do this on your own or in a coaching team or in a group study thing and not pay the money that A&M, Texas A&M is going to try to charge you. That's all I'm saying. But that came out this Friday. That's what I'm saying too. All right. So moving on next. DOJ opposes law firm tasked with FTX investigation for conflict of interest. So here's what's going on. This law firm, Sullivan and Cromwell, has been tasked with doing the investigation on the exchange. The DOJ is saying, hey, this is a conflict of interest because they had people who also used to work, who are the law representatives now, who used to work at Sullivan and Cromwell. And plus, how are you going to ask them to investigate the exchange if they have employees who used to work at the law firm? So now they have to investigate themselves too because of the whole timeline thing. So basically, it's too much connection going on in the background, is what the DOJ is trying to say. My thing is this. Let me run through these highlights real quick. In a recent legal filing, the U.S. Treasury said that it is objecting to the interesting. So U.S. trustee said that it is objecting to the FTX decision due to two overarching reasons. In the first place, the law firm's disclosure are not wholly sufficient to evaluate whether SNC satisfies the bankruptcy code conflict-free and disinterestedness standards. So basically, it's, hey, is there any way that you guys might get caught into a conflict of interest? And as far as the DOJ is concerned, that's what they're seeing. I don't really care to read this right now. The links for this will be in the description on this. If y'all got some thoughts on this, definitely throw them in the comments. I would appreciate that. But here's the thing that caught me on this. Yeah, it was this highlight. It was. All right. So this highlight over here says the second scope of the C's retention cannot be allowed as proposed. The complainant added, detailing the bankruptcy ruling specifically precludes debtors in position from investigating themselves. So basically it's, hey, you guys are part of the FTX thing. You'd be considered the debtors, blah, blah, blah. Here's where I'm curious on. The SEC is a creditor of FTX, I believe. I don't remember if it's FTX or Alameda, but I think it's FTX. If they're a creditor, can the SEC go after them? Is there any kind of rule that has this thing about conflict of, hey, like, you're a creditor, you're somebody that put money into this, you can't investigate it? I'm just curious because if this applies under the DOJ side and what's going on in the New York District Court area, because this is under the federal court system, not the SEC stuff, will the SEC try to go in after them? And if so, is there a rule like this that applies to a conflict of interest in that the SEC is a creditor of TX? If that makes sense. Just throwing that out there. Moving on to this next story. Okay, so when I first saw this pop up, I was like, oh, okay, this is something interesting. This is going to be something techy. Yay. All right, we got some tech news. Because most of the time when Cardano is in the news gator that I use, what I notice is it's a lot of fluffy, fuddish kind of pieces where it's like making these conditional statements related to price, or they took a quote from Charles and it's somehow related to something Vitalik said, or they make these like beef situations, but it's not like actual technical news development, right? Like where it's like, hey, this project is out and it's working. And in this article, they do damn near the same thing. So here you have it. Cardano in Python gets details on its first smart contract in Python, right? So I skip all of this because all this did was recap like the 2021 period into 22 of Cardano. Means shit. We already know, like, they take forever to put stuff out, and when they do, it don't work how they said it's supposed to work. But here we get into this part. All right, I'm gonna just go to the highlight. The vital step in Cardano's development is thanks to ESPN. I don't know if I'm saying that. A new polygonic programming language, which the developers describe as efficient and secure. So EOSPN, I don't know, can also be classified as a translator. It takes code written in Python and then turns it into a smart contract language that Cardano blockchain can understand. Plutus. Also, it analyzes the different parts of the Python code and finds a way to make it faster. That almost sounds like it self-corrects itself. If something costs too much in a gas fee transaction or it's too many steps in the code to execute a function call, it will figure out how to shorten it, which is it's like self-editing. Now, those are the two most interesting lines in this whole thing. Then we jump down to here. However, the readers needs to know that its development is still in the early stages and developers will do more testing before its effectiveness is certified. If the new functionality arrives at the pace of Cardano's delivers, sorry, at the pace Cardano delivers, ADA investors will have to wait a long time for Python to talk to Plutus. Basically, what they're saying is this joint ain't even really off the shelf yet. It's in its beta phase, and they still got to figure out like what are the issues with it. That's basically what that means. Because I was reading this thing and I was like, yo, why is this the only like technical relevant part? And it's not even like deep technical of this whole article. And then when I got to here, I was like, oh, y'all following your regular track record of y'all make the talk and the announcement of stuff. And then it's like, all right, we're gonna put it out there, but we still gonna give conditionals that it might not work, but it's doing something, which is the Cardano track record. Just saying, for you Cardano fans, this could be good news for y'all. I'm gonna just leave it there. But that did come out on Friday, I believe it was. So jumping on this next joint, India Reserve Bank. Oh, sorry. Reserve Bank of India wants cryptocurrencies treated as gambling. So again, as King been saying, and I've been saying, like sometimes you got to read through these things and be like, yo, what are y'all really trying to say? Is this just a PR statement? Is this just a positioning thing? Or is it just y'all really saying something else, but you saying it this way because it is more publicly digestible? So here's the thing, right? India already said that they don't want their people to use cryptocurrencies that they don't control. Here's where they're reiterating again, pretty much. So the DOS argued that the threat proposed by crypto on the financial sector is due to a lack of underlining values, while warning that allowing digital assets to grow will underwhelm the bank's role in controlling the money supply. Bottom line, I've been saying this shit for how long, y'all? It's about capital flight controls. Last year, India or it was the Pakistan did something where they shut down a sub company of I forgot it was someplace out of either Japan or South Korea, and they shut them down because the exchange was making money and then sending it out through crypto to the parent company, and they weren't using the local banking system. This is the same shit right here. This is what they're saying. We need to stop this capital flight control of the businesses and of the people. That's what's going on. I'm just saying this happened. If you out of India, you already know you moving how you move. Remember, VPNs and such are your friend. But at some point, this is going to get physical because they're going to actually start putting in legislation. That's going to be the kicker. Like I said, it was nothing else interesting in this whole thing. It was a whole bunch of words just to say India is looking to push more capital flight controls and they're using the gambling angle because they already have legislation and legal enforcement over the gambling sector of how the money moves within the country. That's why they're throwing out the gambling thing now, because nobody was saying that shit a year ago, I promise you. Jumping into this next story and the last story. All right, so investment firm Societe Generale mint 7 million in stablecoin loan from MakerDAO. I seen this story, right? Now remember, somebody else just did something with MakerDAO too, right? It was one of the banks over here. But they didn't do this. Listen, y'all. MakerDAO, you know, how Imma say it? This is not financial advice. This is not me being a lawyer. This is not me being a CPA. This is not me knowing your monetary situation. This is not me knowing how you're setting your things up or what jurisdiction you're in. Here's what I do know though. What this company, this financial institution just did is the same shit that they was doing in '07 and '08. And I'm gonna explain it to you after I read through this. So, French investment firm, I'm gonna say SG, borrowed 7 million in stablecoin from MakerDAO. The firm used a housing loan as collateral to stake the loan with a loan within a DAI stablecoin lending vault. So let's jump through a little bit of the highlights here. SG was approved to start a MakerDAO vault last year after unanimous vote for from the MakerDAO community. Yo, this is how you know it's the greedy people making all of the votes and decisions in the whole decentralized governance and the voting DAO process. Because, and I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna finish this highlights. What is it? After several months, for the first time, it has withdrawn 7 million in stablecoin. MakerDAO confirmed to the block. The specific vault has a debt ceiling of 30 million. Arguably, they might have took 1/5 of what's in there, right? Which means that he can borrow up to the amount of DAI for up to this amount of DAI for Maker, according to the official data aggregated by Maker Burn. All right. The firm used house loan bonds worth 40 million as collateral to borrow from lending vault on Maker, servicing as an example of how traditional finance players can leverage decentralized finance to create new avenues of borrowing. So, yo, this is my last thing. Let's get into the bullshit that's about to come down the pike in at least under 24 months from this. 30, no, 24, 30 months max. 30 months max from when this came out. So I don't know if y'all understand what they just did. They took bonds that they had in housing, which arguably is another securitized instrument. It's another financial instrument based on leveraged debt, saying, hey, this, so we're saying we have either one or multiple houses that are worth this amount. We're putting them into a bond based on the value of these houses in the real estate, real world market. This is a real world. So now, if the retail market screws up over the next 15 to 30 months, the bonds are going to screw up. The bonds are the collateral. You gave them X amount of digital value, AKA in a stable coin. They're going to take that stable coin and then leverage it out someplace else. And the ripple effect from this is going to be bananas. I would argue if they was smart, they'd be like, yo, so what's oh, it's 30? Bet. How about we get 25 out of that now? And then when everything start going crazy in the, what you call it, in the housing market and then the bond market start messing up as a ripple effect of that, just be like, yo, we can't pay you back. Like, all right, bet. Take the bonds. We don't care. We cashed out on the other side of the stable coin as long as they moved quick enough to get from the DAI into something else that MakerDAO can't control. This is a car crash waiting to happen. I'm just saying, like, when I read it, like I said, links in the comments on this one. Yo, y'all could definitely throw in and tell me what y'all think of this. Because I can't be the only one that's remembering '07 to '09 and how the housing market went. And this is okay to do. Like, some people are gonna argue this as a base hit for the financial industry and stuff, but I promise you the repercussions on this is gonna be real. I'm just saying. So I'm gonna leave it there on that. Oh, yo, and then I don't even know what to expect this week after we get past the whole Martin Luther King holiday thing. I don't even know. Just some of the stuff that I see flying out right now, I don't even know, honestly. But I will say, don't let the fear and the FUD overwhelm you if you really into that trading side of things. Like, not financial advice, but think before you do stuff. If you're gonna take off at something, think before you do it. If you're gonna put in on something, think before you do it. Do your research and all that funness right there. Oh, that's why I don't be messing around. That's why I don't do the price talk. Literally why I just stay away from that side of the space. But nonetheless, that's all I got for y'all on the end of this. What else? Oh, I messed up too on the whole metaverse is the other side. I had a bunch of other things happening on the technical side of stuff, but I will be back on that this week. So it is MLK Day when y'all see this. I just want to say best wishes to you in regards to being in a safe place and in a safe space. For those of you going through things, you understand what I'm saying. If you're not going through something, I still hope that this is a productive over busy day for you and have a good Monday. Have a good week. Have a productive over busy week. Just saying, y'all. Oh, Metaverse is the other side will be Friday, 11 p.m. Again, it's the nighttime thing. We get techie, we geek out. It's not the money talk stuff. It's just us going into what we like about this whole metaverse stuff and the things that we think and see and understand. Me and my homeboy 3D. So other than that, I'm done now. I'm rambling. I'm kind of excited to be back. I feel like I missed way more than a week. All right, y'all. One.